Greetings, Pillar Nexus Ancient Glider today with open up a booster box of Weiss Schwarz because it's been a while since I've done some booster opening, and you know what? I kind of miss this game. There's some. It's a good system. It's just there are things that I wish they would also do with it. But anyway, let's just get to the fun of it. So this is for SAO alternative GGO. Really trying to compete with the Ghost in the Shelfer title. Right. Normally it says reprint, so it's probably the second printing of the second print run. Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched this series, this season of it. I figured, what the hell? I do miss the game enough that I'll pick up the cards and see what I've got here. Alright. 20 boosters, yeah. Yeah, let's open it up, sort them out. Maybe talk about some other stuff along the way. Alright. So yeah, if you haven't, if you're not familiar with Weiss Schwarz, it's the anime crossover game. On one hand, all the different IPs are cool. On the other hand, I'd like to see an intro set that's like, here's our little kind of original idea setting as an introduction to this game. Alright. Yeah, I'll probably have to relook up the rules and stuff to remember how the game goes. Climax card. Alright. Remember if it's got the rarities on there. Yeah. Very nice foils. Probably see about making a couple decks out of this if possible. Remember right, it's 50 cards, max 4 copies of a card, max 8 climax cards in total, and you want to hit that maximum if you want your deck to even have a good chance of doing anything. Yeah. Oh, that's sorting everything. Green's that way. Green's up here. There we go. No yellow. I wonder if there's a reason for that. So yeah, there's like the four main colors of Weiss Schwarz. Yellow, green, red, and blue. I forget which is which. But if they only use 3 of the colors for it, it'd be an interesting design choice on their end. I'll have to look up why that is. Here, let's see all this stuff. But yeah, it has been quite a while since I last watched this one. I think the only reason I ever watched SAO in the first place was for the English dub, because the whole premise was just throwing me off. Like, there's a lot of things wrong with the idea. And also, just death games in general just put a bad taste in my heart. Like, but yeah, I remember this show was a lot of fun. over here. Let's see if I've got enough. We'll have enough cards to make a deck for each color. Or there's one deck to make for one color and one to make for two. And I'll have... Might give me another showdown video to work with. Oh yeah, well, future spoilers. Yeah, I'll be doing the showdown for Keyforge, since I have two decks for that one. However, I've got another card game that I've picked up. Just to do the... Just to feature it and do the showdown, and then we'll see what happens from there. See if I want to get into yet another card game. Other future content. So, I already talked about some, wanting to do some two-player card games. But I also have coming up a two-player miniatures game. Yeah. If you want a little sneak peek of what game I'm going to be featuring in the future, yeah. I'm waiting for some more stuff though. I can run everything to the starter box, but if I can better feature formations, I think that's for the better. Yeah. Let's see. I think what else would... I'm not sure I know any other Climaxes mixed in here. I'm trying to think what other stuff could they do with Weiss Schwarz they haven't covered already. Just a lot of anime out there. I know one anime series that I still need to go back and rewatch because it's been a while. Symphogear. If they haven't featured that yet, I want to see them. I would gladly pick up boosters of Symphogear and Weiss Schwarz any day. Open up more. Might end up in Weiss Schwarz or might be over in Union Arena. I'll have to see. If they ever decide to go with that. Yeah, it's just a lot of IP-based card games have been coming up lately. And some of them have been doing pretty decently. Like Gundam and One Piece. simple foil. So it's like original ideas kind of need to do something to get even any kind of notice. And there's we got in this one game called Rush of Icor because there's one guy that's like just trying to push for it. And so far we've sold none of the starter decks and maybe some of the boosters. And even the person saying, hey, can you get this in, has dropped out of it for playing in other games now. It's like, without the right amount of support, a game just dies, you know? And it sucks. Yeah, my colors mixed up here. But yeah, I want to see why yellow is not a color for this set. It makes me curious. I'm sure there's a thematic reason why. Just see what that's about. I remember way back when with the Odyssey block. The Odyssey block they did the Odyssey was a lot more focused on red and blue. Torment was focused on black, and Judgment was focused on white and green. So things are a little bit off balance there. Doing an off balance set for featuring multiple factions in a collectible game is always a bit of a risk. I know when the living card game for 40k Conquest was going, there would be these packs that would focus on one faction and then give a little bit to the others. If you wanted to do a full Dark Eldar deck, you were waiting until that last pack to do a fully Dark Eldar deck. I think it's one of the things that kind of turned me off on the game. That and the whole living card game problem of we're going to give you this starter box and not give you maximum play copies of each card so that someone would have to buy multiple boxes to get enough copies, and that would screw new players out of cards. It's dumb. You know, another thing about Girls with Guns here, they need to do one for Noir. You go back and say, and do all, just, there we go, the B-Train Girls with Guns trilogy, Weiss Schwarz. And if they're gonna do this, for sure, then, yeah. Yeah, just seeing more original stuff that could actually take off and make that impact of just a long-standing card game, it's gotta be difficult. Magic doing it very early and doing it well enough that it's still here even after 30 plus years and dipping into universes beyond and all that is impressive. But I wish there was more faith in their original sets. Like at our store, the original the OC sets or universes within end up being cheaper to get. Was getting New Capenna. It ended up being fairly affordable for me to pick up for most of the cards I got. Or at least the later half. Oh, looks cool. This looks like it could be like the DVD or Blu-ray cover. Oh yeah, speaking of Blu-rays, DVDs. I've been so sidetracked with YouTube. I'm watching stuff there that I haven't really watched some of the stuff I've picked up lately. It's funny. So there's a while that I was like just getting movies from the library. There'd be times I'd just go back every so often to see what's new. Most recent one I got from the library was Weird. The Alien Big Story. That was fun. Of course, they exaggerate some stuff, but it's kind of silly fun that it's like, you know what, this is cool. All right, sort these out and see what I got to work with here. Yeah, I'll probably end up sleeving everything and just seeing what I can do deck building wise. 20 boosters. Theoretically, I could hit 8 on some. But no, 6, 7, and 7. Probably last. Or 6, or 7. Can I do math today? It would really help if I can do math today. Alright. Alright. Yeah, so what I can do is I can make 3 single color decks if I really want to. I should see what we actually have card wise. Alright. Let's go ahead and sort some stuff out and continue on. Yeah, well, it seems like collecting cards and deck building, there's the point past which, even when you get more cards, you feel less inclined to make anything with them, which is kind of unfortunate. But hey, that's the way things go sometimes. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of space to work with here. Alright. need all the space. There's everything that makes deck building a pain in the butt is the space requirements of sorting everything out. Oh yeah, there's always more things coming to mind. It's like, hey, I can talk about this. Saturday I actually got to run Eve War for New Eden. I only ended up adding the Succession expansion because we had 4 players, and I didn't want to overwhelm with the craziness that is the Titans, so I left those out. But 4 players went about 4 hours. Your individual turn moves very quickly, and then whether anyone decides they want to buy extra actions or not, we'll see whether someone does that and the round ends sooner or later. But eventually, people are going to run out of money, so run out of resources to work with. Alright. Yeah, I haven't pulled more than 4 of anything, so everything could potentially go into a deck. But I need to see how things work together. So yeah, let's go ahead and count up here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly enough to make a monocolor deck. Alright. In red. Cool. Alright. Next, blue. I have to wonder if there's a way to set up a multiplayer approach to this. I think the only real issue is the way things line up would be a problem. See, there's always that one issue of any kind of let's base our game off of another property game is eventually running out of images to work with. I remember that problem happening with a dot hack enemy. Let's see. So the more a work has to go off of for source images and all that, the more cards could potentially be made out of it. Alright. 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 Let's go. Find anything that's got 3 ofs. I don't think anything got 4. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Which means I'll have to take a few cards out, but to use all the climax cards. That means monocolor deck blue is possible. If I'm doing my math right, hopefully this means that green also has enough. But always making sure we don't have more than 4 of a card. Make sure people can see them. I think one of the rough things that can happen to a game is when only one thing is viable, then everyone's playing that or they're just messing around. But when you can make anything work, then it comes down to your personal preference of what do you like. There's a lot of creativity that can be put into deck building. And I think that's part of what all these card games have going for them that makes them interesting. That's why Keyforge is kind of an oddball. And in that your decks are already pre-made and what you get randomly is that deck. You could always trade your deck with someone else if they're cool with it. But ultimately it's going to come down to having a deck that you can understand, play well. I think that's probably the best looking card I got out of this whole thing. And then any kind of chains put on that deck to hold it back. Let's see. So I'm actually reading my freaking cards here. I'm looking for best tactic up their sleeves, Hookah Zero. Which means the smarter thing to do is actually build the 2-color entirely possible I haven't even pulled that card yet. Let's see. Alright. Because of the sheer number of rares out in the set, it's entirely possible that there's a good number I've missed. I would need to probably find another box, but this was the last box left at the store. It's funny because we had, so yeah, there was like 2 boxes of this. One with the boosters at 4 and one of the boosters at 5. One of the boosters at 4 already sold. And this one was still sealed, so it's like, okay, this many packs, this much per pack, charge me this. Which, you know, basically paying for every individual pack for the price, but hey, it saved me the trouble of opening the thing. Yep. Alright, so we're at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 38, 40, 1, 2, 3, and then 7 climax cards. So green's got me the best options for just being able to pick and choose what to work with. Yeah, well, sleeve the cards, make some decks, and see what's going to work out. But yeah, it's nice. It was nice going through the cards and just having a way to kind of remember the series. Try to remember the series, and when I don't have access to the Blu-ray at the moment, I do want to find more physical media for anime, because just being able to just watch it without having to worry about subscribing to anything or taking stupid risks on websites I don't want to take stupid risks with would be nice. So yeah, it was just SAOA GGO. It was a lot of fun. And I do want to watch it again at least once more. There have been some times where it's like, okay, I'll watch it with English dub, I'll watch it with Japanese. And every time I've preferred hearing it in English over reading it in English. It just sits better in my brain that way. Not that I'm against reading. I like reading books and such. But sometimes just the way my things process for me. If I'm hearing and reading things in 2 completely different languages, or hearing it in one that I immediately understand, I'd rather have that option. But it is interesting to explore the original and see how it is. Just try to see if I can pick up the words that end up getting used quite a bit. So far, I've done this with 2 Hearts, Metropolis, There really hasn't been a whole lot, though, I think. Yeah, I might try it with others in the future, but this is how I like it. So yeah, look forward to this getting all the various cards get sleeved and everything. I'm probably not going to make this card sleeving video its own thing. I'm just going to just work on it in my downtime. But I'm going to put this away for now. We'll probably... so yeah, future content, Mage Knight Rebellion. And another card game that I will briefly hint at, and that video will be immediately a showdown video and not just the Polar Lips tabletop games, because it deserves to get all the showdown approach it needs to best show how it functions. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.